Hi, everyone. This is Mirna Mejia. I'm a clinical psychologist and a certified professional coach that has a lot to say about burnout. Why does burnout happen? How do we recover from burnout? And also, how do we prevent burnout from happening again? For today, I wanted to introduce the concept of GAILs. GAILs stand for gremlins, assumptions, interpretations, and limiting beliefs. In a nutshell, what GAILs are, they're just thoughts that can be quite powerful. They can start seeping in when we're noticing some early burnout symptoms, and they're certainly maintained during the burnout process. And sometimes these thoughts can actually exacerbate and intensify, maintain the burnout experience. So, super important for us to really learn what these GAILs are. So, GAILs stand for gremlins, assumptions, interpretations, and limiting beliefs. To start off with gremlins, what are gremlins? So, gremlins are any particular thought that has enough in it. For example, I'm not good enough. I'm not competent enough. I'm not experienced enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not this or that enough. So, take a moment and think about, do you recognize pesky little gremlins running around in your beautiful brain? Next, assumptions. Assumptions are the thoughts that just because something happened in the past, therefore, for sure, it will happen again in the future. So even though it makes sense why we would think that something is going to happen again, because something really intense or important happened in the past, including negative things, it kind of makes sense why the brain is going to take that leap because it really wants to protect us from the bad stuff happening again to us. Next are interpretations. Interpretations are judgments or opinions about situations or other people. So, examples of interpretations include they must be thinking negatively of me, or they're probably going to give me a hard time, or they're just being unfair. Interpretations are super quick. A lot of times we're not consciously creating these interpretations, they just pop up in our brain. Lastly, limiting beliefs is very, very common, especially in burnout situations. So, examples of limiting beliefs are I can't do it. This is too much. This is overwhelming. This is beyond my capability. And so, the more limiting beliefs are and the more powerful they are, think about how they can really keep us stuck in burnout situations. Again, if the thought is, this is too big for me, this is beyond my capability, how does that impact our actions? So here we are again, GAILs, gremlins, assumptions, interpretations, and limiting beliefs. Start reflecting. Do I recognize any of these in my life presently? What's keeping me stuck in progressing in whatever goal I've set for myself, including recovering from burnout, staying in a current position in which you know you are not thriving and are unhappy in, or really in any other personal situation in which you're feeling quite stuck. So, GAILs, again, they're automatic. We're not consciously thinking about these things. They're super quick. However, they can be quite intense and therefore believable. But if kept unchecked, they really keep us stuck. And once we start fact checking them, we realize that the majority of these thoughts, if not all of these thoughts, are really not supported by hard facts and evidence. So stay tuned for my upcoming videos. I'm going to start in reverse order. I'm going to start talking a bit more about limiting beliefs and then going into interpretations, then assumptions, then last but not least, our glorious gremlins. And the reason why I'm starting in reverse order is because when you think about the intensity, the heaviness, the power of these thoughts, gremlins are going to have the most energy. They're going to be great blockers when we think about ways to progress towards our goals or getting out of really stressful situations. So, again, I'll say a little bit more about that in the upcoming videos in terms of what I mean more about energy. So, thank you for watching today. Stay tuned.